I think it's over for the most part. A few days ago, I predicted that we would see one more decent move, one more like somewhat sizable move, and then that would be it. And then I think maybe you could count the John Collins trade as that. I think, the LeBron saga, we'll see. We'll see what the LeBron saga ends up looking like. But outside of that, I can't imagine much. Maybe Wiggins gets traded. That could be a decent trade for somebody. Maybe Claxton. I doubt it. I think he would have been traded already. Maybe, I don't really know who else could potentially be on the market. Maybe the Jazz are just full tear down. Larry Markkinen gets traded. I don't know. True, Kelly Olynyk did just get traded, so that's true. Why is this guy so obese again? LeBron? He's getting up there in age. So, but I think he's doing pretty well for a 40-year-old. He looks great for his age. Winner, Atlanta Hawks. Were they the winner of the offseason? Had that unbelievable trade with the Pelicans on draft night. Just a robbery of a trade. Now they have access to either the Bucks or the Pelicans pick next year. That feels pretty good to have possession of. They got Nick Alexander Walker. What else did they get? They took a flyer on KP. I like what they've done quite a bit. I think they might be the winners. It's either them or the Rockets. And the reason why I say the Rockets is I know a lot of you are like, anytime I bring it up, you guys are like, KD's so washed. KD's so washed. They still got a guy who's around a top 10 player in the league without giving up much of anything, really. And so, in my opinion, that makes them automatically a massive winner. So, I love that for them. Yeah, losing Karis LeVert does suck, but yeah, they also got off that Terrence Mann money in the process. Professor Splash of the 199, did you talk about Dog Chet overpay yet? No, we're going to get into Dog Chet here in a second. Now, I wish they had another guard. Oh, yeah, and they got Luke Kennard. I wish they had another kind of ball handler who could handle the second team. I wish they had another one of those guys. I wish they lost Karis LeVert who could do that. No one they brought in can really do it. Maybe it's Kobe Buffkin time. Maybe this is the year for Kobe Buffkin. Loser New Orleans Pelicans. Yeah, there's no toys around it, really. I hate their team. It makes no sense to me. The Jordan Poole trade, I've actually tried to wrap my brain around. And not that I think it's a bad trade, but I actually last week, because I guess that one just flew under the radar for me. Like, I didn't really think about it much at all. I thought about it some last week, and I was like, why did the Pelicans do this? Like, not that I think it's a bad trade or anything. Jordan Poole was good last season. But, like, DeJounte, Jeremiah Fears, Jordan Poole, what a strange-ass backcourt that is. And then, and DeJounte will be out for some time. I don't know how long, but... and then, like, your front court has Zion and Derek Queen, and your centers are Kevon Looney and Yves Missy. Like, this team is just bizarre to me. But yes, the big L was that trade to move up in the draft. And it doesn't help that the Hawks came out like, we had to double check to make sure this trade was real. That's never what you want to hear about a trade. But it is one of those dumb things where it's like, well, if Derek Queen ends up being really good, no one will care about this in the future. Just something to think about. Winner Houston Rockets, yeah. They got Dorian Finney-Smith. They traded for KD. All they gave up for KD, Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, 10th overall pick, which they were never going to give play time to. The Capella contract is still weird to me. Yeah, $7 million a year is nothing, but that's still. That's just still a little strange. It does make sense. They're gonna commit. To me, this means they're committing really hard to double bigs, which means they need all the depth they could get there. The Jabari Smith contract extension, around $25 million a year. All right. I mean, that's fine. I wouldn't call that like a great move or anything. I think that's just fine. Steven Adams, 3 years, 39. Again, I think that's fine. I don't think that's like a great move. Fred VanVleet, 2 years, $50 million. I do think's really good. I think he's really valuable to them, even if his efficiency and stuff's a little poopy. But yeah, this was a great offseason. I mean, they got way better. And they got off Jalen Green, like Dylan Brooks was a step slower. The number 10 overall pick was never going to play for them. They got more depth on the wings. Loser Los Angeles Lakers. Interesting. Do you guys think the Lakers are offseason losers? I think the Lakers just had a middle of the road offseason. I wouldn't call them a loser necessarily. And the only reason I say that is because I went into the offseason telling you guys, I don't really see how the Lakers get much better, honest to God. I don't really see how they could get much better. And I think all things considered, they did fine. I don't know if I'd call them a loser. I definitely wouldn't call them a winner. I'll tell you that much. I would not call them a winner. I definitely think I've seen Lakers fans already try to cope with this. Like, yeah, well, I'd rather have Ayton and Jake LaRavia than Dorian Finney-Smith. And I got to ask you guys this. There's no way in fuck we'd ever hear this much about Jake LaRavia if he were on any team, any other team, would we? Just no way would we hear about Jake LaRavia. Ayton, no, for sure. Like, we'd see teams talk themselves into Ayton and fan bases. Any fan base talk themselves into Ayton. The Jake LaRavia one has been a little bit shocking to me. The LaRavia one's like, no, honest to God, LaRavia's like probably better than Dorian Finney-Smith. And it's like, based off of what? Your delusion? I'm not a big Ayton fan. Jake LaRavia is whatever. I guess if you want to factor in the LeBron saga and that this does feel weird. Like, there's no two ways around it. This does feel odd how this is all playing out. All right, that's fine. Their defense is bad, and they lost one of their best defenders and replaced him with Jake LaRavia, who's an okay defensive player, and Ayton, who, you know, has not been an impactful defender for years. Don't go to sleep, says Shams. See their fans say they had an A+ offseason? Yeah, I mean, they didn't. Let's not forget the fact that a top 15 player on your roster is sending out cryptic ass messages and people genuinely don't know if he'll be on the team. All right, let's just start there. Like, this isn't weirdly. I think the LeBron saga and like the LeBron effect has taken center stage in these conversations, but that's still a top 15 player. I can't believe I see Lakers fans who are like, yeah, just let him go. It's like, what? Why the fuck would you want that? Why would you want that if you want to win? LeBron is always sending cryptic messages. As a Laker fans, it means nothing at this point. No, this is the most cryptic one we've gotten yet. This is the most cryptic one. Winner Denver Nuggets? Yeah, absolutely. They had a great one. They had a great one. Even regardless of what happens with this Jonas Valanciunas situation. They had a great offseason. It'll be even better if Valanciunas does stay. Loser Boston Celtics. Okay, I like this approach by this guy. I like this approach because you could spin it to say, hey, the Celtics were able to get out of their nightmarish, hellish cap situation without having to give up much. And that's totally true. But they've gotten way worse. That's just the reality. They've gotten way worse as a team. And so I like this approach. It's like, I can't consider you a winner because you got out of dog shit contracts. It's the same thing with like the Suns. Did they do the best they possibly could? Sure. Would I consider them an offseason winner? No. Absolutely not. Did they maybe do the best they could with the KD trade? Maybe. But they lost KD. They got way worse. Their ceiling has fallen tremendously. Same thing with the Celtics. I agree with this take 100%. Again, did they do a good job getting off KP's money, getting off Drew's money, and not really having to send out anything at all? Yeah, they did a good job there. But you still had to get rid of those guys. Now you have no front court to speak of at all. You lost KP, Luke Cornett, and Al Horford all in one offseason. So that is kind of crazy. Oh, winner Washington Wizards. All right, sure. Sure, why not? Went out and got Cam Whitmore, got off the Poole contract. They'll have $100 million in cap space next summer. Interesting. Yeah, okay. That's what these teams need to be doing. Like, it's just, if you're a team like this, why the fuck aren't you taking a risk on Cam Whitmore? You know? And loser Indiana Pacers. Yeah, similar stuff to like the Suns or the Celtics. How much of it was in their control? I don't know. Do you believe the team president coming out and saying that they're willing to go in the tax for Miles Turner? I don't know how much I believe that, but they did lose their starting center. They did lose their starting center. So, what, Jay Huff will be starting for them next year? So, breaking slightly these bones. Thanks, Shams. You can fuck off now. Any winners or losers that aren't mentioned in here that I think of? I mean, if you're factoring in the draft, I got to put the Spurs up there as winners, right? I have the Spurs a winner over the Wizards personally. I like what the Wizards did, but the Spurs, I really like what they did. The Bucks, I think Bucks are middle of the road. Do I agree with the Dame stretch? Absolutely not. But do I understand it at least from the perspective of this might have been like how we keep Giannis? I do get it. And from that perspective, okay. All right. Fair enough.